What's good, YouTube? Mario Devon back with yet another video. So today I'm gonna address a question, one of the top questions I get, especially about this here iPhone 11 Pro Max. A lot of people have been having a problem getting their iPhone with the moment anamorphic lens to balance on this here gimbal, this here Osmo Mobile 3, one of the most popular smartphone gimbals you can get on the market today. So we're not here to talk about the Osmo Mobile 3, we're here to talk about another solution. I'm gonna give you one of my trade secrets. I'm gonna give you something clutch that I've been using lately. And the reason why I've been using this solution is because I've been shooting for the Moment Film Festival, and I wanted to get to a point where I can try to make my smartphone actually feel like a real camera, which means using real camera gear. So let's dive into it. Let me show you one of my secrets. First thing, let's address the case. This is the thin biodegradable case, not the filmmaker case that breaks, that's discontinued. Shout out to Moment for doing that. And it's not the photo case, which is the heavier case, but really sturdy. And of course, the Moment anamorphic lens that you all know so well. You're probably wondering, Mario, why is your Weebill S sitting over here? I'm gonna show you why right now. So in my hand is the small rig cinema cage for smartphones. And what you all know about cinema cages is you have all these places to put whatever you want to put, whatever. And the thing about this is this also adds weight to your phone. This item right here will be the key in allowing you to use your smartphone on your actual gimbal. So it's really easy to use. You have this spring right here that allows you to attach any phone, and all you have to do is insert your phone and just give it a little bit of a push, and that spring will slide down, and there you go. You have the first step done. That's easy, right? From there, we have our standard Manfrotto plate that goes on most gimbals, all right? So you're gonna put this on this actual cage, and that would allow you to mount it on your Weebill S. To keep the weight distributed very evenly, I recommend putting it in the middle if you can. So now let's try to go ahead and mount this on the Weebill S. So in shooting for the Moment Film Festival, I've realized that the best way to get the best cinematic footage is to find a way to make your phone actually move and behave like a camera. And one of the ways to achieve that is actually using real camera gear. So here we go. Before we get started balancing, I'm gonna go ahead and put this Moment anamorphic lens on here so we can go ahead and get that going. And we're gonna balance it the same way we would any other camera that would be on a gimbal. So again, the same way you would balance a camera, you would go one by one on each axis to make sure it's balanced. But you'll realize with this cage is the cage is really wide, so don't worry about this axis. If you can get it to balance on this axis, that's good. But remember, this gimbal has enough power to actually balance things. This is a really lightweight setup, so it has enough power to balance it, even if it's a little bit off. So like I've said, you want to make sure you get everything balanced as if it's a regular camera, because you want to get the smoothest footage you can possibly get. Okay, so there we go. We've used this cage and we've added enough weight on the setup, so now you can actually turn on the gimbal. Once you turn the gimbal on, you'll realize that this is the heavy enough setup for the gimbal to identify. So you can use your gimbal the same way you would use your camera, the same movements, everything. You can duplicate it without having to worry about the weight distribution. It just works perfectly, and this is what I've used on a lot of the shooting I've done for the Moment Film Festival. Just because I know this Weebill so well, I just wanted to, duplicate that movement even when I'm trying to shoot a film. This is also a great solution if you don't want to have to spend the money on something like an Osmo Mobile 3. If you already have a gimbal, all you need to do is find something that will add more weight to your phone, like this cage, that will allow you to mount your actual smartphone to a real gimbal. Now, for me, it's very important to have full control. Not only do I want control as far as like the gimbal, but I want control as far as my settings. And of course, when you're shooting like 24 frames per second, that shutter speed is at like 1/50. In the case of the Moment app or Filmic Pro, is 1/48. And even if you lower the ISO at its lowest in those apps, it still lets in too much light in most cases, especially if you're shooting in the daytime. So for me, I wanted a real solution that would allow me to be able to really dial in that shutter speed and get those settings the way I want. So that means using an ND filter. So how do you get an ND filter on this bad boy, okay? So to put on a filter, you can use this here. This is the Moment filter mount package. You can get it on the site, and I'm gonna have two components out of there for the anamorphic lens. Although I'm taking the pieces out for the anamorphic lens, there are additional pieces that could be used for the wide and the telephoto lenses. First component is gonna be this little rubbery thing here. This goes around the anamorphic lens. They're actually really easy to put together. All you have to do is literally just put them through the hole and you should hear a little bit of a snap, and there you go. That is the first step to getting this mount going. So many of you can look at this and tell that it's a ring, okay? So that means you can more than likely add a step-up ring on this. So I have a step-up ring already in this bag. So there are many options for step-up rings out there, Amazon, B&H. This is a 62mm thread on this filter mount, and my ND filter is 77. So this here is a step-up ring for 62 to 77. You all know how to put this on. All you have to do is just spin it on just like you would any other step-up ring, all right? So we're almost there. Now, I know the Polar Pro ND filters are really good, but this is the ND filter from K&F Concept. I think it's about half the price, and it's really good. I've used this on my real cameras. I've used this in a lot of my professional work, and it's really good, but it comes at a cheaper price. But I can tell you, this variable ND filter has made me some money already. But of course, the Polar Pros are a great option. Hoya makes great ND filters, and of course, this K&F Concept, it is a really good filter that I love using. So of course, you're gonna do like you always do with the step-up rings and ND filters. Pretty good. You already know what to do. You know how to do this thing. You're a professional out there. You do your thing out there. You get this money. So once you get your entire filter mount set up ready, all you have to do is just attach it to the Moment anamorphic lens right here. Keep in mind, you're using an actual gimbal, so it is strong enough to take this little bit of additional weight. It's not gonna do anything, so all you have to do is just put it on. So I'm gonna line it up and just pretty much just push it on there, and there you go. You now have an ND filter on your Moment anamorphic lens on your smartphone, so you can completely control everything you want to control as far as the shutter speed, frame rates, get your settings exactly the way you want them so you can get the most cinematic shots. We are not done, okay? I told you I want control. Let me ask you a question. What happens? What happens when you do this and you're doing underswing and you can't see the screen, okay? What happens? We usually have a monitor. So I'm gonna show you something else really quickly. Before we get to that step, I'm turning off the gimbal, and I'm gonna tell you why, all right? I want to flip this phone because I want the lightning port to be down here. And the reason why, I'm gonna show you in a second, all right? I got you. So now I'm taking off my Moment anamorphic filter mount setup that I have. I'm literally just going to flip my phone around, okay? So I'm gonna push my phone down a little bit so that gives me room to still put the anamorphic lens mount setup right here. It's not in the way of any motors or anything here. It's clear of the base plate, so that's what I wanna do here. Now, of course, that means we have to rebalance. You already know, like I said, treat it like a camera. So the ND filter over here, this adds more weight. So now you have to shift this over to the left. And it's pretty easy. And what you can get is that perfect balance that you already had before. So I just pulled some more tricks out of the bag. This here is a lightning adapter to HDMI. So I'm gonna connect the lightning cable. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this Field World HDMI 4K monitor. I'm gonna stick it here as if I'm using an actual camera. So this is the full HDMI port here. So you're gonna go from the full HDMI port here to the full HDMI port in the monitor. And now you have a monitor setup. I'm going to give you a pointer here, okay? So the Moment app does not flip. It's really weird. The attributes in the app flip, but the actual app does not flip horizontal. So therefore you can't use the Moment app for this situation. But good thing most of you use the Filmic Pro app. Filmic Pro will switch the orientation for you when you turn the phone. It will follow you. So that means that flip here will also reflect here. So if you're gonna use the setup, you have to use the Filmic Pro app. And that's not a problem because if you've used Filmic Pro recently, you know that there is an anamorphic setting. So you can still use your Moment anamorphic lens in your Filmic Pro app. So there you go. We have an ND filter. We got full control, and here you go. If you wanna get a sample of it, there you go. I can still use my gimbal the same way. So now by underswing, I can underswing and I can just bring that monitor up and I can still be able to see whatever I'm seeing on that here camera right here. I mean that phone, my bad. It's not a camera, or is it? I mean, at this point, who knows? But either way, I can pretty much get my full setup that I would as if I was using my actual camera. So I hope this has been helpful to you. This is the go-to setup when I want to get stable footage, but I want full control over my shot. I love the Osmo Mobile 3, but it can't do this. It's a great travel setup, but sometimes when you're shooting a film, you really want to have full control over everything. I shared this on my Instagram like 2 weeks ago, and I don't know, I just didn't think about sharing it here. But one of my subscribers and followers on Instagram, Andrew Bootko, he actually sent me his rig. I'll have his rig somewhere on the screen, and we were talking about this, and he saw my rig, and I told him about the small rig cage, and then he was like, hey, I want that. He tried it out, sent me his rig, and I hope you like his rig. Thing about it is this small rig cage may be sold out, but there are other options. This here is a Ulanzi cage, all right? The Ulanzi cage is a great option. You can still do the same thing. It's actually a little bit lighter weight than a small rig cage, but it works too. There are other options. I will try my best to link other options down below. I'll also share a link directly to Small Rig where they have this cage. But thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please hit your boy up. This is just a solution on how you can still use your moment anamorphic lens and get some good footage, even though it is, it can be heavy sometimes. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for watching my short film recently. I'll have it somewhere on the screen. Go ahead and check that out. That was my first time using the Atomos Ninja 5 with the Canon EOS R. So, hope you like it. Hope you like the writing and the acting. But I will see you all in the next video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to your boy, support the channel. Much appreciated. Mucho apreciado. That's not even Spanish, but we're gonna rock with it, okay? But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.